I was in the banking industry for 25 years, and throughout that time, I had the unfortunate opportunity to help many people that fell victim to a financial scam. Nobody is immune to these types of scams. I've seen both men and women, young and old, fall victim to a fraudster. For example, I had a man, he was a scientist. He fell victim to a romance scam. Fortunately, I was able to prevent him from losing his life savings. But there are a lot of people that are not that lucky. I met a newly retired woman who she fell victim to a romance scam as well. And she lost her entire savings and then some because this man had manipulated her entirely to where she wouldn't listen to reason, wouldn't listen to anybody who was trying to tell her that this was a scam. In 2020, the Federal Trade Commission received more than $2.1 million in fraud reports from consumers, according to the website Forbes.com, in an article written by Kevin Payne and Daphne Foreman titled 8 Common Bank Scams and How to Avoid Them. As consumers that are concerned with making money and having no desire to lose it, my goal here today is to inform you of some of the most common financial scams that are out there today. And in this speech, I'm going to talk about the lottery and sweepstakes scams, dating and romance scams, and banking and credit card on online scams. What they are, what to be aware of so that you can protect yourselves. Lottery and sweepstakes scams have been much more prevalent since the beginning of the pandemic. With COVID, it just was like a field day for fraudsters. The Federal Trade Commission reported that nearly $107 million was stolen from consumers using these types of scams. And this is according to an article by Nina Pineda titled How to Avoid Falling for the Newest Sweepstakes Scams, dated August 16, 2021. Typically, the scam starts, you receive some type of letter in the mail or an email or a phone call, and they say that you've won some money. And in order to collect your winnings, you have to pay a fee. One of the worst scams that I personally have seen in my time in banking involved a lottery scam. A mentally disabled man came to us because he needed to make a withdrawal. And he said he had won Publishers Clearinghouse sweepstakes. So he was real excited, but he had to pay them a fee to collect his prize. Despite multiple attempts from all of us trying to prevent it, this includes calling the police department and filing a police report. The fraudsters cleared out this man's bank account. And anytime you're asked to pay a fee, you know it's a scam. This situation sent me home every day frustrated, upset, because there was nothing I could do. I could not get him to listen. I could not get him to change his mind. And because of his disability, he had no idea the true impact of what this was going to do to him. Can you imagine if you fall victim to a scam and you know after all is said and done that you should have seen the warning signs? With romance schemes, especially, I have seen the toll that it takes on victims emotionally. Romance scams, which are online dating scams, have nearly tripled in the past 3 years, according to the website Norton.com, from an article written by Claire Stouffer dated February 4th, 2022, titled Romance Scams in 2022, What You Need to Know, plus Online Dating Statistics. These scams not only rob their victim of money, but they leave them feeling heartbroken and devastated emotionally. It starts off with them believing that they're now in a relationship with someone that they met online, but they've never met him in person. The victim starts to trust the scammer. Once they do, the fraudster starts to ask for money. First, it's typically small amounts for things like paying a bill, and then it starts to increase and they start asking more frequently and the dollar amounts start getting larger. And then they continue until either the victim realizes what's going on or there's no money left for them to send them. To protect yourself from this type of scam, make sure you know the red flags. The person says like they live far away, like in another country. The relationship moves really fast, and the fraudster starts to break promises to see you. Just remember that eventually they're going to ask for money, and they usually ask for it in a weird kind of payment. The most popular form of payment that I have seen is they ask you to buy iTunes cards and then send them the codes from the back of the cards. This one always had me dumbfounded because I don't understand how the victim didn't understand that this didn't seem right. Always remember, never reveal too much personal information about yourself to anyone or give someone your personal information that you have never met. Talking about revealing too much information about yourself leads me to the next scam I want to talk to you about. One of the most popular types of banking scams, and it's called phishing. According to the website Forbes.com, the FBI reported that Americans lost more than $57 million in phishing scams alone in 2019. Phishing is when a victim is coerced into giving some personal information about themselves, so that eventually the fraudster will be able to use the information to either open new accounts or to invade the consumer's existing accounts. According to the Federal Trade Commission's website, www.ftc.gov. The most important thing to remember is that if you are ever targeted or fall victim to one of these scams, that you notify the proper authorities. According to A. Kaplowitz, in an independently published article called Common Scams and Frauds, help you to be more aware and avoid getting scammed again. Recognize the scams. Federal agencies investigate scams and pursue criminal charges against the scammers. So a website like USA.gov is a great place to find information on where to report a claim, like that you were scammed. So in this speech, I discussed lottery and sweepstakes scams, romance and dating scams, banking, credit card, and online scams. I also discussed how to protect yourselves from becoming a victim of one of these scams. As fellow consumers, we all want to protect the money that we've worked so hard to earn. My goal today was to inform you of what the scams are that are out there that can jeopardize your financial security and how you can protect yourself from a financial scam. In closing, I would like to leave you with a quote from one of the most successful investors in the world, Warren Buffett. Rule number 1, never lose money. Rule number 2, never forget rule number 1. Thank you all for your time.